What if I told you that the path to world peace might not come from treaties or disarmament, but from a computer protocol? It's a pretty radical idea, I know, but it's the core of a groundbreaking MIT thesis we're digging into today. It's called SoftWar, and it proposes a brand new, non-lethal way to settle our biggest conflicts. All right, let's get into it.
To really get this, we have to start with a weird little puzzle from nature. Just look at a stag's antlers. I mean, really look at them. They're massive, they're heavy, and honestly, as a weapon for killing something, they're kind of clumsy. So why have them? Why would evolution produce something so inefficient? The answer, it turns out, is the key to this whole thing.
See, the antlers aren't actually designed for killing. You can think of them as a technology for non-lethal competition. They let two powerful stags lock up, push against each other, and prove undeniably who is physically stronger, all without goring each other to death. And that's absolutely crucial, because a herd needs its strongest members to survive. Killing them off over internal squabbles would be totally self-destructive. So these antlers create a system where real physical power is used to settle disputes in a way that actually preserves the group's strength. It's a system that's not built for mutually assured destruction, but for mutually assured preservation. Now, you're going to want to hang on to that phrase because it is central to everything we're about to talk about.
This idea of how stags compete leads us right to the heart of the SoftWar thesis, and that is the fundamental difference between two kinds of power. The two forces that govern everything from a herd of deer all the way up to human nations.
First up, you've got physical power. This is the real deal. It's raw force, rooted in the laws of physics. Think of the cannon on an A-10 Warthog. It doesn't care if you believe in it. It doesn't need your permission. Its power just is. It's measurable, it's undeniable, and it requires zero trust to work.
But then you have abstract power. This is the power held by a king or a judge or even just a software administrator on a network. It doesn't physically exist in the world. It only works because we all agree to believe in the same set of rules and trust the system. And that right there is its fatal flaw. Because it's just a story we all agree on, its rules can always be bent or broken or exploited.
The difference becomes crystal clear when you put them side by side. Think about a fighter pilot. Her power is physical. It comes from the jet, the fuel, the weapons. Now think about a Chief Justice. His power is totally abstract. It only works because we all collectively agree to respect the legal system he represents. One is based on physics, the other is based on belief, and that makes it incredibly vulnerable.
So, how does this framework of power apply to our world today? Well, it perfectly explains the central paradox, the strategic trap that defines global conflict in the 21st century.
Here's the trap we're in. On one hand, our most powerful physical weapons, nuclear bombs, are so insanely destructive that they've created a stalemate. Nobody can actually use them. But on the other hand, our newest battlefield, cyberspace, is pure abstract chaos. It's under constant attack. But because it's all just code and rules, there are no real-world costs or consequences for the attackers. We're completely stuck. Too powerful to act in the physical world, and too vulnerable to do nothing in the digital one.
So, how do you fix a purely abstract world that's missing any real checks and balances? Well, the SoftWar thesis proposes a really fascinating solution. You have to inject real physical reality back into the digital world. You need to create digital antlers.
This quote right here really forces us to check our assumptions. For more than a decade now, most of us have looked at something like Bitcoin and seen it as a financial tool, a kind of economic medicine. But what if, just like those ancient alchemists holding gunpowder for the first time, we've completely missed its true strategic purpose? What if its underlying technology isn't about money at all, but a new form of power?
The key here is to forget about money for a minute and just look at the engine that runs Bitcoin, proof of work. Or a better way to think about it is proof of power. It's a security protocol that does one incredible thing. It tethers the abstract digital world to the real physical world by converting electricity, actual watts from a power plant, into a signal that cannot be faked.
So how does it work? It's actually pretty simple. First, the network presents a ridiculously hard computational puzzle. Second, specialized computers all over the world start burning immense amounts of real-world electricity trying to brute force a solution. And third, the computer that finally finds that solution provides an unforgeable, thermodynamically backed proof that real physical power was spent. It's that simple.
And this is what makes it so different from other systems like proof of stake.
Proof of work bases its security on something external and physical, on the laws of physics. It's costly and verifiable in the real world. Proof of stake, on the other hand, bases its security on an internal, abstract rank. Basically, whoever has the most coins gets the most power. It's just another system of rules, which means it's vulnerable to the same old exploits.
Okay, so we've established that we can import real, physical power into the digital realm. Now we get to the climax of the whole argument. How does a nation-state actually use this? What's the practical strategy here?
All right, let's walk through it. Imagine you're a nation-state. Step 1. You and your rivals openly acknowledge that your big kinetic weapons are basically unusable because of mutually assured destruction. Step 2. Instead of building more bombs, you start building out your national energy grid and your computational infrastructure. Step 3. You start converting all that energy into proof of work, projecting your industrial capacity as a measurable, unforgeable digital signal. Step 4. Diplomacy completely changes. Now you can prove your nation's strength without ever flying a bomber near a border. It's a verifiable signal of power. And finally, Step 5. This creates a whole new, non-destructive arena where you can actually compete and settle disputes based on productive capacity, not destructive capability.
What this strategy really represents is a profound, fundamental paradigm shift. We're talking about changing the entire game of global competition, moving away from this negative-sum game of destruction towards something totally new.
And the shift is just so stark when you lay it out. Hard war is kinetic, bombs and bullets. Its outcome is destructive, and its ultimate goal is mutually assured destruction. Soft war is electric. It's measured in watts. Its outcome is non-destructive, and its goal is that idea we talked about earlier, mutually assured preservation. It's a contest of strength that, just like with the stags, actually preserves the herd.
And here's the ultimate payoff. Instead of a zero-sum game of destruction, where for me to win, you have to lose, SoftWar creates a positive-sum game. The competition itself becomes productive. It incentivizes nations to build more efficient energy grids, to push the boundaries of computer technology. It turns the contest into a race of innovation, making everyone stronger and more advanced along the way.
You know what's wild? This isn't even a brand new idea. Way back in 1900, Nikola Tesla had this incredible vision of a future where nations could let machines fight their wars for them, using pure energy to settle conflicts without a single person having to die. It's almost like SoftWar is the accidental, unexpected fulfillment of that century-old dream.
And that leaves us with one last, massive thought to chew on. At its absolute core, war has always been a contest of physical power. It's what happens when our abstract rules and agreements fail. So, if we have now, accidentally, invented a way to conduct that exact same contest purely through the expenditure of energy with zero physical destruction, have we stumbled upon the next evolution of war itself?